I didn't have a frame of reference for like how nerds talk to each other back then. So, they'd be like saying quotes at me and I'm like, yeah, that happened in the movie. Yeah. Like,
You're supposed to quote back.
All right, welcome to This Week in Nerd History, the podcast where we take a look at all the fun, dumb, nerdy stuff from the past, present, and future. We're back. We took last week off or whatever, a couple pass on and off because I've been away. I'm Mike. Joining me as always, we got AJ and Sal. How you guys doing?
Excellent.
Awesome. We're going to talk about Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Got a little bit of like a, I don't know, love letter, whatever. Just appreciation for the G.I. Joe Fake PSAs. A little bit of Today in Nerd History, some comic news, some Godzilla comic news. And jumping straight in, I have a dumb game for you guys. Today's game is What's That G.I. Joe Backstory?
Yay!
this is great. This should be an equalizer. I don't know any of the backstories. I don't know anything about these G.I. Joes.
Nor do I.
The premise of this is it's multiple choice. One backstory is real, and the others are made up. Then I'll tell you a little bit about the backstory because they're all absurd. I kind of picked a handful of the most absurd ones.
If it sounds normal, it's not right.
Right.
That is the wrong one.
All right, first up.
Oh my God.
Raptor.
I love this guy.
Okay. I'll get
his
into like
bird feet. Are those his real feet, do we think? Or is he wearing like little footies that make him look like he has bird feet?
No.
Does
he have a
I
mystical
don't know if those
amulet
wings
that turns
are really
him into
his.
a bird?
they're footies. They're footies. Okay.
He slips those on.
He's wearing
These are
footies.
these answers here are just snippets into the backstory. And then whatever you guys answer, this one in particular, I'll get into the backstory itself.
Okay.
Okay. Number 1, he's an airborne thrill seeker. This is his life before joining Cobra.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
B, white collar tax consultant. C, professional wrestler, which could apply to any
All of them?
G.I. Joe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Cobra, whatever. They could have been a professional wrestler. Or D, some sort of bird fetish guy.
Yo, I'm going to go white collar tax consultant.
That's a good bet.
Because it's such a good 180 that he was like, one day he's doing taxes and then he's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to put on some wings and I'm going to fly.
That is so oddly close to the origin of the Tick sidekick Arthur. It's outrageous.
Maybe Arthur's based on Raptor.
Ooh, shit.
Right? Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be. I'm going to go airborne thrill seeker, I guess. It feels really... I wanted to go with tax consultant, but I'll
You let me have it.
I know. AJ got
I was
in
like,
there
you know
first.
what? I want you to have it.
I had to jump at it.
It is
too
white
good.
collar tax consultant.
Nice.
So this is one I didn't copy paste the other backstories for the other people because this one is the most ridiculous. But this is the actual backstory for Raptor. Before he ever donned his bird outfit, Raptor was your typical white collar tax consultant. It wasn't until he got into falconry that birds of prey became his life, leaving the finance world behind. Raptor turned to hunting and poaching, using and breeding his winged predators to produce and outfit larger and stronger birds of prey. After targeting minks on a Cobra-owned ranch, he was apprehended by Destro and later was brought into the fold. His world revolves around making predatory birds attack G.I. Joe. He still knows it's all about the money. One of the crazier parts of this is a Cobra-owned ranch. I've read 2 different ones. It was Cobra-owned ranch and Cobra-owned farm.
Yeah.
Which, not to deconstruct the whole world of G.I. Joe, but like, what is happening? Why is Cobra...
Why do they
getting
have
involved
farms
in
and
these-
ranches?
Yeah, are they paying
Listen, if
property
you're
taxes
trying to
the US
take
government?
over,
Yeah.
you need the infrastructure in place.
That's true.
You need to be
It's a
growing your own
well-rounded
food.
Operation, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for Cobra, like this is
You
a good
can't depend
move.
on the
It's-
enemy to give you food. You have to grow
That's
your
right.
own food.
That's right.
There's also no mention of him having the ability of flight, so I don't know.
He just likes to dress as a
Yeah.
bird, I'm assuming.
Right. So he's
Yeah.
walking.
Also, his name is Raptor. What? Like, that's not a bird, is it?
No, they're
No, raptors
we
are
call
like-
birds of prey
Yeah.
raptors.
Really?
like a hawk and an eagle. Those are raptors.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. I think it's fake.
You should come to the Raptor Preserve we have in New Jersey. You'd be oh my god. AJ be so disappointed.
Sounds
We take her to
fake.
the Raptor Preserve. She'd be like, "This is gonna be the greatest." day
Where
of
the
my
hell
life."
are the raptors?
She'd be like, "Oh, there's just birds."
I mean, birds are like the remnants of dinosaurs, so I'll allow it.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
Oh, good. I'm glad I get your seal of
All
approval.
right, good. Otherwise, we would
Does
have to
still
talk
sound
to
fake, though.
Hasbro about
Yeah.
the big mistake that they made. All right, next up, Hit and Run.
Oh, yeah.
Some context clues about what he looks like here. He's got like a rope, right? He's in camouflage and stuff. He's so with the rope and everything, he does a lot of like climbing and whatever the other rappelling,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Excelled at dodgeball, hide and seek, and tag as a child.
Naturally.
Parents got killed by a drunk driver.
Mm-hmm.
Professional tree pruner and arborist. He is Hit, one half of the G.I. Joe rap duo, Hit and Run.
Rap duo.
We're hit and run. They have like the early 90s, like late 80s soft rap kind of thing. That would be amazing. All right, AJ, take it away. What do you
Yo,
got?
I'm Hit, and this is a run. No, it's not. It's not going to be the rap duo. I think he's a professional tree pruner and arborist.
I mean, who
'Cause
wasn't
then
who didn't excel at dodgeball, hide and seek, and tag as a child? But I'll go with that anyway.
It's B. His parents were killed by a drunk driver when he was 3.
How many of them
That's
were
his backstory, and that's entirely his character development.
So
He
lame.
was an orphan, and he learned how to rappel by climbing out of the orphanage's windows.
Clearly, that's the one-to-one.
imagine?
Yeah.
that I was,
And if you just take a step back, this is his G.I. Joe code name. So somebody knew his backstory about his parents getting killed, and they're like, we have the perfect name for you.
Oh, snap.
What are your thoughts on how your parents died?
What are your thoughts about making that your entire identity?
Wow.
Yeah.
If somebody's got PTSD, it's this guy.
Holy damn. That's rough.
All right. Next up, Footloose.
Oh, yeah. At Fancy Free.
I was about to say it.
Not too many context clues from his image here. His pretty standard army
Something
guy.
seems off about his, like, dimensions. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not the best.
It's looking a little janky, but
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Okay. A. Did drugs, wandered off, and showed up in the army.
Mhm.
B.
Like many of our.
Is he
Of
a
our
G.I.
friends.
Joe or is he one of the Cobra?
He's
Are we allowed to know that?
He's a G.I. Joe. He's a G.I. Joe.
Okay. I mean, clearly they all did drugs before they joined.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
B. Able to detect landmines with his sensitive feet. C. After liberating a small Indiana town with dance, he moved on to the army. B. Some sort of bird fetish person.
I wish that were the answer for all of them.
I'll let Sal pick first on this guy.
I'm going to go B. I'm going to go Detective Landmines.
All right, then I'm going with he's liberating a small Indiana town with dance.
It's
Is that
C.
just-
It is
is-
actually C.
What?
No. It's
Is
A.
that just the
The
plot
dude
for
is-
Footloose?
This guy is just generic, but they just threw in that he dropped out of college, disappeared for a number of years, and then reappeared in the army, and now he
Like
just has periods
Jesus.
where he's just sort of like zonked out. And he kind of like overthinks things. So it's just like he did acid for 3 years after
They
he
call him
dropped out of
Footloose
school.
because he wanders away.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess
he
so.
wandered off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Terrible.
Yeah.
He is fancy free though.
I have notes.
Rapid fire.
Wow.
Why
Look at
does he
this-
look? He looks
Yeah.
so different
Yeah.
from
he
his
is-
picture to his action figure.
He is the ugliest G.I. Joe character or toy I've ever seen, honestly. The head just doesn't make sense. It's very
No.
specific.
Does he have mutton chops? I can't tell what's going on with his face there. But quick little shout out to anyone who's listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast, check us out on YouTube so you can see what we're seeing.
Good point. Very good point. I'm just now realizing he's got a bit of like Elon Musk jaw.
Yep.
It's just very strange. So picture Elon Musk cosplaying as
a G.I. Joe.
As a
Life-
Joe.
As a lifeguard.
Yeah. All right, rapid fire. Former track star zips around the battlefield. B, video game expert, able to control any tech. Yep.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. C, water. White water.
Water.
Let me fix that.
No, don't.
Water.
Water rafting.
I won't fix it. Whitewater rafting, survivalist.
Okay.
D, talks and thinks so fast he's able to talk himself out of any situation.
Well, that's just millennial. I should probably go for that promotion, but I'm not really even qualified. I shouldn't even bother.
He just talks himself out of every good thing that could ever happen to him.
Yeah. I should get a new car, but there's payments are so expensive.
Pollution and the insurance payments.
I'll just grab my bike. I'll go video game expert because that's so inane.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it could be real.
And he's got a helmet with a visor on it. Video games, I don't know.
He does look like he's wearing an over-puffed safety vest, so I'm going to go whitewater rafting survivalist.
All right. This was a trick question. These are all fake. The reason why
the real answer is he's some kind of weirdo birding enthusiast.
Yes.
The only reason why I included him is because he came with a promotional VHS of an episode called Revenge of the Pharaohs, which he does not appear in.
What?
Also, there's multiple pictures of him because this is a different image of his figure from the previous one. Yep. So
that's awesome.
There's so much on this guy. Yeah. Rapid fire.
What's
his actual backstory then? I gotta know.
It was nonsense.
He looks like a guy who's at the bar at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. So it probably has to do with all the shots he's throwing back before he comes stumbling home.
Rapid fire. Martha, did you change the locks again? I don't know.
I divorced you 6 years ago, Brian.
It's rapid fire.
I'm a G.I. Joe, bitch.
Call me RF.
Call me RF.
All right. Headman.
Yeah.
He's so gangster.
A drug dealer?
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
Known for collecting the heads of his enemies. The ultimate Cobra recruiter and headhunter. Former speakeasy owner who turned his life around to keep the streets safe. And there's an extra answer here. One more. Super good at oral sex.
Clearly.
I mean, look at him.
Right. The key here, there's an exclamation point as well at the end of that. So.
I like that too. Oral sex.
Super good.
Underline super good. He's super good at oral sex. You really want me to pick
superpower.
That gives that image a little different context.
A little more context, yeah. But it does explain the ponytail. AJ, what do you want to do?
I'm going to go speakeasy owner.
That's totally a fair thing.
Because his suit says, just screams like Zoot Suit to me.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to go B, collecting heads.
He's just a drug dealer.
Just a drug dealer.
Drug dealer.
He's a drug dealing kingpin.
Who's still super good at oral sex.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Obvi.
Sorry, it's multiple
choice.
This was in the Dare time period. And they threw him in there, and they have one where he's got a Cobra logo on his jacket there. But I think they also made it where he was sort of his own thing because Cobra's we're not drug dealers. Can we not be drug dealers, please?
Can we not do that?
No, we got to get the drugs working.
Need somebody's got to be. He's a drug dealer and he's bad. He's one of the bad guys. You don't want to be him.
All right, so this is the last one. This was a tiebreaker one, but the score is 1-0.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Is
so
it?
this is fuck, I don't know how we got in this situation. I never think of like that.
What a tiebreaker
There's an
would be.
opportunity for neither one of you to get an answer right, and that
There's an
negates the thing.
opportunity for both of us to suck at this game.
Right. Okay.
Which-
So
Will come up.
this is Robo Joe. This was it's like in the 90s. It was like the extreme thing, and they had this whole stupid like G.I. Joe in space in different universes or galaxies and shit. So this guy's like RoboCop. His backstory is like he got hurt and now he's half robot. So
Yep.
that doesn't give away any of these answers really. So, but
All right. What happened before he was half robot?
The question here to answer is, what does JOE stand for?
Oh.
Jet Fueled Operation Extreme? Jet
Doesn't mean
Tech Operations Expert? Jupiter's Orbit Exterminator? James Oliver Edwin, his name? Or Jerk Off Everyone?
It's E.
Again with an exclamation.
That idea is so great. It's like, I finally have the power to do it.
He's got like the Terminator lines, just like jerk off everyone.
Yep, that's directive one. Only one directive. He's half robot, so he's able to do it like even fast. He's a This is amazing. That also is clearly a RoboCop action figure with a different person's head
Totally.
on top of it.
Yeah, this was the toy that the toy, the first one that I saw is like it looks like a refrigerator with like they've put like some weird abs on it, and it's so clunky looking. This one is like must have been like the later version of it, because the other one, it looks fucking terrible. But this one's definitely like RoboCop.
Yeah.
I like Jupiter's Orbit Exterminator, but I don't think that's it.
Mm.
I'm gonna let Sal pick first.
I don't like the hyphenates because, like,
I
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's cheating.
Jet
Yeah.
Tech, that's Jeto. Oh man, jet fueled Operation Extreme doesn't even mean anything, so I'm gonna go with that one. It's just like he's jet fueled, and like, what do you mean Operation Extreme?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
It's the 90s.
Yeah,
There's an explosion behind him.
I'm gonna
Presumably.
go James Oliver Edwin. I think they're just like, we're gonna call him Robo Joe,
Mhm.
and people call him Joe, and then he just is always like, my name is James.
All right, so it is. Wait, what was it? Sorry, Sal. What was your?
Oh, A. I
A.
picked A.
Okay, it was E. E. Sal picked E. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sal
E.
picked E.
I was just hoping.
It is. It is B with the hyphen Jet Tech Operations Expert. James
Oh,
Oliver
yeah.
Edwin's not his name either. I made that up.
It is his name though.
Well, congratulations, AJ.
Woo!
You've won your
You
I
did it.
first
won.
game.
It was Zanzibar who helped me.
Oh,
Zanzibar that I
Zanzibar.
paid $10 for.
I know. Should include Zanzibar in one of these. I'm sure
Yeah.
his backstory's normal.
I had Zanzibar too. That's funny. When I was a
Zanzibar
kid, I had
helped.
that figure. Yeah.
I can't get
All right,
over
Zanzibar.
Raptor's actual backstory.
Yeah. Fuck taxes.
Some sort of bird fetish guy.
Why? I don't know. Whatever. But why
I know.
make him? Why include that he used to be a tax consultant?
Because,
It's so
listen,
specific.
they're not gonna teach you about tax consultancy in school. You've got to learn it somewhere.
Yeah.
You've got to be like, what is this job? And let
It
me
makes
look
it
it
more
up.
relatable.
I like
know?
Raptor. My dad's a
Yeah.
tax consultant. He could be Raptor,
That's true. There you go.
right? That kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, what is a tax?
Make
Like he's
someone
not
boring.
he's not an accountant. He's not
Right.
a CPA. He's a tax consultant who also
So
is
it's
into
just-
falconry.
Yeah. Well, that took over.
Howdy there, folks. Video James here. Do you like racing cars but don't feel like actually getting in a car and going really fast? Well, check out GamerSup's latest drop, Stick Shift. They've got hoodies, sweats, tees, a mini racing helmet, and waifu shakers, all with a cool racing motif. I don't know what that word means. They're available now, so check them out while supplies last. And be sure to use the promo code Dorkly for free samples. Alright, this is too much racing talk. I'm gonna go lay down for a while. Back to the video.
All right, this is Today in Nerd History, and Sal's got some Godzilla comic stuff.
Yeah, there's some Godzilla going on in the comic book world. Summer 2025 is like going to be a big time for Godzilla in comics. IDW Publishing is launching not just one Godzilla book, although they are launching Godzilla #1, but they're also launching like two other Godzilla books that are all part of a Godzilla interconnected comic book universe that all have different tones.
All right,
so you could...
I just like snorted. I couldn't handle that. I don't know why that caught me off guard. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, Godzilla itself is more or less a connected universe because there's all these different monsters and stuff. It's just that they're always correlated between Godzilla fighting them. But yeah, July 23rd is going to be the debut of the first issue of Godzilla from Tim Seeley and Nicola Sismishia. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Oh,
Sounds like my landlord. I like that. I was going to ask about like the way the Godzilla comics are like set up. Like if there's I assume they would have to be anyway, but like a human that you're following or like
yeah. Although not all the time. There's a book called Godzilla Goes to Hell, and you're just watching Godzilla go to hell and just wreck shit. There's no one going like, oh no! You're just like you're just watching. He's like, what's this? He doesn't say anything. He's just like, huh? Like it's just. Okay, Godzilla, knock yourself out, man.
All right, so this is going to be kind of a recurring review segment whenever I get the chance to do it, and we're going to call it, every once in a while, companies send us free stuff, and we get to play around with it and tell you what we think about it. Maybe you'll buy it, maybe you don't. It's up to you. And today we're going to be looking at the Miyoo Flip. So the people at Timex Player were nice enough to send me the Miyoo Flip to check out. It's a handheld retro emulator. If you guys remember from a few months ago, they were the same company that sent me the Miyoo Brick. And comparing the two, I really like the Miyoo Flip. It's a foldable device. It's really similar in size and shape and weight to like the Game Boy Advance, if you remember what that was like. Fits in my pocket really nice. And since it flips up and folds up, I'm not worried about it scratching up or anything like that. So it's 3.3 inches when folded, 6.1 inches when it's fully opened up. The screen's nice and clear. It's a 3.5 inch screen, 480p resolution, multiplayer support. If you have friends, I don't have any friends, so there's that. That's a whole other thing that I should be working on, I guess. It's $80, which is on the pricier side for a handheld emulator, so take that into account if you're thinking about buying this. But I think it's worth it. The big thing for me is that I really like the way it fits in my hand. Compared to the Miyoo Brick, which I also like, the Miyoo Flip really just fits in my hand very nicely, and I can find that I'm able to like play a game for a little bit longer without my hands kind of cramped in a slightly weird position. But I do want to call out like one negative thing about this product. When you are flipping it open, you can see like it clicks and then clicks again. And you can actually click it a third time to get it flat. What happened with the first one when doing this was the hinge broke. And this was within like 15 minutes of getting it. So I was like, that's not that great, especially for $80. But I reached out to the people at Timex Player. They understood completely. They wanted to know what the issue was, and they're trying to correct that. So it may have just been like a one-off thing. I haven't run into that issue with this new one. That is just something to be a little bit careful about, I think. So getting to the buttons, it's got nice quiet buttons. The D-pad and the face buttons there, pretty standard, but it's nice and quiet. It does have 2 analog sticks, which feel nice. Honestly, I haven't used them at all in a game that I played, so I can't really tell you if they're good or bad, but they feel nice and they're not in the way when I'm just using the other stuff. It's got 4 trigger buttons on the back. It's got a sleep function on there, so if you've got it on and you're playing and you want to stop playing, you can just close it and it'll just go to sleep. The overall battery life was pretty good if you're using like a non-intensive game, like a classic retro game. You can probably get 5-6 hours out of it, which is fantastic. If you're messing around with some of the older ones, the Dreamcast or PS1 games in here, I did find that those eat up the battery pretty quick. The audio's not bad. It's clear, it's loud without getting like too crackly or distorted, but like honestly, I'm not really blasting the audio in this thing. It has also got like a standard headphone jack. So overall, I really like this thing. I really do. If you're in the market, if you're looking for one of these things, I highly recommend it. And it's $80. It's not cheap for sure, so take that into account. And I would watch the hinge on it as well. But beyond that, it's super easy to navigate. It comes with a ton of games. You can add more super easily as well. If you're interested at all, link in the description. Again, this isn't a paid sponsorship kind of thing. I make nothing if you click on that link below. But yeah, I would recommend it. All right, back to the podcast. All right, so this is Yesterday in Nerd History. There's a couple things to talk about. First one that I just wanted to pay homage to are the classic G.I. Joe fake PSAs. Those came out like, I don't know, early
2003.
2003?
Yeah.
My God. Those were the funniest, like perfect, funny, stupidest things that you could imagine. They're done so well and like quick and just like weird without being corny. You know, it's like a very fine line to go through. But like they were done by Eric Fensler, who owns Fensler Film. But I was just doing like a little bit of like looking at some backstory about it. He just decided to do them one day when he got like a DVD of like a G.I. Joe DVD, and they had like a bunch of them on there. So I think he like ripped them from there and just started like messing around with them, having his friends make some of the voices and stuff. And then like this was pre-YouTube. So places like eBombs World and Heavy.com like started posting them and, you know, became super popular. And they got a cease and desist from Hasbro. Obviously,
I just read that today. I was like, whoa.
And so,
I mean, I would think that you would want Hasbro to embrace how
like nowadays,
hilarious they are.
Since it was pre-YouTube, it was just like,
it was like nobody knew what a meme was.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Nobody was, but it was probably arguably the first meme that I really like held onto and latched onto.
Well, and despite the fact that
I live and breathe those G.I. Joe PSAs for like at least a year.
My God.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Well, and like, even though there's probably more people now than ever before watching like stuff online, I bet more people saw those than anything that went viral today because of like the limitations of the form. Like, if it was online and you're online too, you saw it.
Yeah.
And those G.I. Joe PSAs, like, there was no like central thing. There was no YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was on like eBombs World or friggin', I don't know, maybe Newgrounds, but like it was just you'd have to be in the know to go to those places. So it's like if it was sent to you or whatever, that was the way that you got it. Or if you're on a college campus, like it was just being you were bombarded with them at it.
Exactly.
And it's like, yeah, so like let's say every 20-year-old saw it in America.
Yeah, right. That's crazy to think that.
Do you know the first bits of it though were passed out on VHS tapes?
Really?
Oh my God, that's like South Park.
Somebody out there has VHS tapes of the originals from back before they were all over the internet.
That's awesome.
eBomb and Fensler took those down from that season. Like they followed it since there wasn't really a precedence for that. So they're just like, I don't want to get fucking sued into oblivion, so I'm just going to take it down.
Yeah.
But then when YouTube came out, like at that point, everybody had those. Every 20-year-old had those on their computer somewhere.
So
when YouTube came out,
uploads,
everybody just uploaded it.
You can find any of them, yeah.
And so, you know, what can Hasbro do at that point? You can't stop it at that point.
And like, you shouldn't. It's so much free advertising.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, those PSAs initially, like the real ones, are lame and obvious and like borderline propaganda. So to have them repurposed and they didn't like alter it. It's not like Duke's dick is out or anything. Like it's just insanity. It's
just weird cuts and just insane text.
I'm a computer.
Insane dialogue.
Better and more odd than like whatever Adult Swim tries to do.
Yeah, which is a funny too. We're saying that because after he went on to Adult Swim, he went to work at Adult Swim for a bit. He made promos for C-Lab 2021, which I would love to talk about that show and the insanity. He made an entire episode that was unaired.
Really?
Yeah. And I was just looking at some other stuff. He made he tried to make, which I don't quite know what that means. He made a pilot, but there's like some footage, I think, of parts of it. A live action soap opera called Sunset Feelings that involved mannequins.
Yeah.
That sounds so great.
And then he went on to be an intern, like one of the interns on Tom Goes to the Mayor on Adult Swim, which is where he met Tim and Eric, worked on Tim and Eric show and like other projects with them for like 5 years or so. But he was a part of like the crazy, weird Old Spice commercials after that.
Oh,
which
nice.
all that stuff
that makes so much sense now.
Like going from like Tim and Eric, Old Spice stuff, like it's all the same weird
look away, look back,
stuff.
I'm on a horse.
Yeah. Because you can so easily be weird and corny, like, and have it come off terrible. there's such a fine line with that. But like he's whatever sensibility he's got, that it's just like make it weird enough, don't hang around for it too long, and then just like end it and move on to the next thing.
There were actual action figures made for at least two of these guys.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The body massage roadblock. Hold on, let me check this out. Body massage roadblock. Reaction. Super 7 put these out apparently, and it's even got like a whole jam on the back. And then I'm a computer. I'm a computer.
God.
And he's got his little back.
Stop
background.
all the downloading.
He was an IT bandwidth specialist. Stop all the downloading. He likes to say 0100001.
I'd heard a rumor that these are included in stuff now. Like, no, right? Like they're not like part of. They didn't put them in DVDs or anything like later on.
I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because I mean, at that point, it's like, well, technically, you own it,
right?
Like, you could just
I know.
Put it up and be like, yeah, we're all in on the joke, and I don't care as long as you buy and watch more G.I. Joe.
Yeah, at a certain point, exactly. Just be in on it. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like
Be in on the joke, own it. Everybody loves it. Nobody's watching these things and going, these are terrible.
Right. It's not like a bad
They're
look on G.I.
hilarious.
Joe. It's just funny. Like you get it. Like those cartoons were bad as like looking back at them. They're just like bad. So nobody's like
And
going
saying
back and looking.
Porkchop Sandwiches is more helpful
Yeah.
than
Honestly,
whatever you
that-
were saying
Yeah.
yourself.
I remember that with then whatever actual lesson that they were actually trying to tell you in those PSAs.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, because it was so like inane. It was just like, don't talk to strangers. Like, don't leave the oven on. Like, don't
Don't
go
touch
by
live
an
wires.
open pool. Like, don't touch dogs.
It's like looking in a mirror. Does your mom still hang out at dockside bars? So annoying.
That's right. With Shipwreck.
Tell us which one is your favorite. Tell me which one you didn't stop quoting when you were in college.
Yeah.
Or if you've never seen them before, watch them all. I demand
Yeah.
it. And then tell me which one is your instant classic favorite.
Yeah. Which one ended your friendship by doing it too much?
All right, let's talk about some Monty Python. We're talking about Monty Python, the Holy Grail. It was the
50-year
50-year
anniversary.
anniversary, yeah.
Yup.
shit.
On April 27th.
It was directed by Terry Gilliam and Terry Jones, who hadn't directed a feature live-action film before. It had a total budget of $400,000. The initial gross was $5 million, which is pretty crazy. No studio was like willing to fund the movie, when they were trying to make it. So they got backing from Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, and Genesis. They gave them, they invested into the movie, which is just crazy to me. It just seemed like the
And
last.
Jethro Tull, right?
Yeah.
Jethro Tull?
They're on the list.
Why
It's
is it all
on the list.
musicians?
I don't know.
Maybe they know
just
them?
loved Monty Python.
guess so.
They had a great style.
The guys who wrote Bungle in the Jungle are also like, yeah, and I'm a huge Monty Python fan.
Why not?
I love the Spam sketch. What do you want from me? I want to see what they do with a narrative.
But because they were because it was such a shoestring budget, but also too because it was funded it that way, it gave them a ton of creative control, obviously.
Yeah.
But a lot of like the no budget stuff, like trying to cut corners in a lot of ways, the pretending to ride the horses and the coconuts. That was just because they couldn't afford to get a bunch of horses.
Yep.
The
It's an
ending
easy-
of the movie was supposed to be a big battle, big fight, but they ran out of money. So they're like, all right, what if we just everybody gets arrested?
Yeah.
The police come. It's so fucking stupid.
It's so funny. Like I remember, I've heard the stories about how about budget restraints making the movie what it is, and I'm like, I can't imagine the movie being anything else, and I can't imagine the movie being better or funnier with a bigger budget or any studio interference. Like the coconut horse riding thing is iconic.
Do you know, I rewatched it last night because I was
Whoa.
like, I got to. It had been so long since I've seen it. And I don't know I watched it a bunch. It must have been on Comedy Central. Is that where, like, did anyone else watch it there?
Yeah,
I'm like,
I've seen it a lot, but I don't remember what channel it's on. Yeah.
I wasn't introduced to it. Like, it's not one of the things that we had on regular rotation. So how I saw this a bunch of times, it must have been on TV.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking. And not everyone, but the fellow nerds in high school were quoting it with me, and outside were quoting it on their own, and I would go, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. But I don't think I had ever watched it all the way through in one sitting until last night. And it wasn't until then that I realized they got to the end and it was like, wait, they never got the Grail. The entire point of the movie just is cut off. They go up to see the French guys get it first, and they don't even see it.
It still feels like every scene is like its own little sketch that doesn't quite have anything to do with the other sort of thing, and that's sort of like
part of it is little vignettes of their journey, but then there's other things that come in that are they seem unrelated.
I avoided this movie for decades after having seen it because of how insufferable Monty Python fans are. And I never want to see it again. Like, I saw it because a friend of mine actually introduced me to Monty Python when I was like 11. And his parents had the tapes, and so I saw all of Monty Python, like, from beginning to end, and the movies, like, before the end of middle school. So by the time high school came around and I made friends with nerds inevitably, it took a couple of years. It took a couple of months, but I did eventually find all the nerds. And they were like, nee! And I'm like, oh my God, they're making references to that movie that I saw when I was like a kid. That's insane. Like that was my context for Monty Python.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I've seen it. And like, but I didn't have a frame of reference for like how nerds talk to each other back then. So, they'd be like saying quotes at me and I'm like, yeah, that happened in the movie. Yeah. Like,
you're supposed to quote back.
Yeah, they were like, you're supposed to say the line
like
back at me, and I'm like, but why would we do that?
It
like,
is a password. But
we've already seen it. Like, clearly you've seen it so much that you've memorized it. Like,
it's funny you mentioned like the fans and stuff. Because I was watching through. I love the movie. Let me preface it.
I love it.
I rewatched parts of it the other night, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't like a lot of parts of this movie.
The memorable stuff is great, and the not so memorable stuff, there are a couple of good moments throughout, but the rest of it's like, what?
I know.
Like, I like Life of Brian a lot. I still would rather watch Holy Grail, and it's only because like it's less of a drag.
Yeah, Life of Brian I've only watched it maybe once or twice, and like I'm like, didn't watch that one.
Yeah. And then there's The Meaning of Life, which I'm like, oh, you can skip that.
Like The Nights That Say Need, like I remember watching that first time. I was like, this part's not doing it for me. There's like the weird parts that crack me up in that movie is like the part when like they're seeing the old, like the kind of
the bridge keeper or whatever.
Not that part. The dude in the cave, just the old guy in the cave, and he's just like
he's the same guy
and stuff. Wait, is that the bridge keeper? I don't remember.
The bridge keeper is the same guy that's in the cave.
Okay. Just the parts when he's just like laughing like an old man. He's like trying to like, and what's his face is trying to actually get like an answer out of him. And he's just like those things like those will crack me up. I saw it the other night. I was still laughing at that. Or like when Cleese's, I forget the character, but he's just got that fucking like flamethrower thing and he's just constantly blowing up shit. And like,
yes,
like those things that made me, I'm just like, all right, this is so over the top stupid.
Yeah.
But like a lot of like the classic, just silly ones make me less likely to laugh at it. Like The Nights That Say Need. I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Those ones never really did for me.
The Black Knight is always funny.
Black Knight's always funny. Yes.
I think the bunny attacking is always funny.
The bunny attacking is hilarious. And also like oddly graphic.
Yeah. Very
the Holy
funny.
Hand Grenade bit is funny, but I think it's mostly because of like how committed Palin is. I like, you know what I mean? Like I could see him having a good time doing that bit. But it's the other thing that always strikes me, and it's like every time I see any sequence from it, I'm like, these guys must have been freezing.
Yeah.
Like it looks so cold all the time in that movie. And I don't know why that's like the thing I walk away from when it comes to Holy Grail, but I'm like, it just looks like they shot it in like the dead of winter in England. Like they're just in the countryside. There's no buildings. It's just wind and no protection from it. And they're like, and they have to wear these costumes. It's just like, and it's there. You know why? Because everyone is being windswept. Every shot where
there's so much wind in so many of the shots. Everything is blowing around, billowing.
It was shot in Scotland, and they said like they were just dying to get home, like inside like the hotel, because they were all just miserable by the end of each day, where it's just freezing and wet and in the costumes and stuff like every day.
Like
yeah. Oh my God.
Like, but let's be funny. That's a recipe for comedy is just misery.
That and two directors trying to figure out how to make a movie on the fly. I'm sure that made for a lot of fun days.
Oh, plus like Cleese hated making it and didn't want to be there. Like, that I'm sure that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure that helped.
Aww.
They planned on using like a bunch of publicly owned castles in Scotland to film, like, because there's various different castles in the movie and stuff. And the Scottish Department of Environment told them, like, at the kind of the last minute or whatever, or close to when everything was set, that they wouldn't allow them to use it because the filming was going to be inconsistent with the dignity and fabric of the building. Like, basically, like, don't do your silly shit in our nice castles, please. Like, go do it somewhere else. So it was all filmed at this one privately owned castle, Castle Doune, which is like a tourist destination now because it's the one castle in, where all this stuff is filmed. So like anytime you see
sucks for you,
a castle up close,
you could have had a lot more tourism.
I know, right?
All over your castle.
Now it's just this one Castle Doune that gets all the attention. But it was just like, any castle, no matter what castle is going to be, unless as long as it wasn't like a cardboard castle in the distance, it was that one castle, and they were just like, changing angles and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of different set dressing and stuff, but I thought that was funny. Scotland's just like, no, you know what? No, don't fuck up our castles.
I mean, rewatching it, I was so surprised by how many little bits I used to quote without even realizing it. Like, there would be things that would just come to my, like, I would say them over the years without even realizing that's where they came from. That I'd be like, for some reason, the thing that's sticking out to me is the very small rocks. Like, that's something that I would say all the time without even realizing that it was a Monty Python reference until I saw it again.
Just gets baked into your psyche.
Yeah.
Yep.
All of these things.
And then I never saw it, but it sparked the Spamalot musical.
I've never seen Spamalot either.
I saw it, but I don't remember it.
That's always good.
Did you see it on 420?
I saw it on 420. No, I saw it. I believe I saw it with Dan and like his family before we were officially dating, or like when we were dating in college or something, before we were like together. I don't remember. I remember being like, oh, it's like a combination of Holy Grail and Life of Brian, and isn't it like all three of the movies like put together in a musical?
I don't know.
Oh, I guess if you haven't seen it, you wouldn't know. But I believe it's all of them. And I was like, oh yeah, I know these parts. And then like I had never seen Life of Brian, so when those parts were happening, I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
I read something. It didn't make sense to me. I couldn't make the correlation. They didn't really explain it well. It was like the famous Spam sketch from that they had, that it was the inspiration to name like junk mail spam.
Yeah.
But like, why?
Why?
Because nobody likes it. I don't know, which is not true at all.
I know.
It's like a massive staple in like Japanese and like Hawaiian cooking. I don't
exactly. I know. But I just didn't like. It didn't make any sense to me, and I feel like the sketch wasn't. That wasn't the point.
No. Yeah, well, I mean, the joke in the Spam sketch is that, like, that woman doesn't like Spam. But that's it. Like,
like the thing I was watching, it was just like they just said it like matter of fact. I'm like, okay. I was like, wait a minute. That doesn't, like, explain that a little more.
Yeah.
But,
no. No.
No. Oh, man. So yeah, that was
That's Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I know.
Yeah.
Bunch of weirdos getting to do weird stuff.
Lucky them.
I know. It's a funny thing too. I watching like any kind of an older movie, or like funny, weird, experimental, kind of groundbreaking, whatever you want to call it, type of movie, and then trying to imagine like especially that tone and the pacing and stuff. Like if that was a movie that came out now,
How would it fare?
yeah, like it would. I don't know.
Yeah, what streaming service would it be on?
It would be on
Because it's
Tubi.
not like it would come out in a
It'd be
theater.
on Crackle.
I mean, it is currently on. It's on Amazon.
yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
I guess. I was like, oh shit, it's on YouTube like a billion times. Like 1,000 people have it uploaded to YouTube. The full
Oh.
movie.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Just the full movie. Why not?
But like, I don't
Have
even
at it.
know. I don't know.
I'm wondering, like, last night we were watching it, and like halfway through, Dan said, I wish Felix was watching this with us. And I wonder, like, at 8 years old, will he get a lot of the jokes that make it fun to watch, or will he just be bored by it? And at what age? Tell me this in the comments. At what age
Yeah.
should I be showing Monty Python and the Holy Grail to my kid? Because I want him to see it for the first time and be able to get enough of the jokes that he loves it and wants to see it again. I want him to love it.
I was pretty young.
You know, yeah, I'd say like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Like he
Right?
could probably see
Like,
it.
he
It's
could
not
probably
like
see
it's
it pretty
that.
soon. It's
Yeah,
there's
that's
nothing
okay.
offensive about
Right.
it.
No,
You know,
no,
it's,
and like
it's not like it's not age appropriate. It's just that I don't want him to think like this is a boring thing.
Mhm.
Well, he'll
because
laugh
it can
when you're
go pretty
laughing.
slow.
Yeah, that's true.
you know, like when you react to it, he'll react to it as well, which will help keep his interest.
It's more just the, the instant gratification of the YouTube things that he's watching that are like the try not to laugh, that are like in your face and blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
there's nothing
and
you
I'm
can do
like,
about that.
Maybe I
mean,
just start it in the middle and just be like, this is just happening right now, and you're gonna
Yeah.
Try the
watch
approach
the
when I
night
was
you
a
say
kid
nee.
of just being babysat by television or watching too much television and watching
Just
the same
put it on
thing,
at
watching
all
Monty
times.
Python and the Holy Grail like a billion times because it's
In a row.
kind of the only thing that's on that you
right,
want
because
to
it's
watch.
one of 4 VHS tapes you own.
Yeah.
It's just that.
I'll do
it's
that.
like Little Women.
So you're saying I need to be more of an absent parent?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that I mean, which actually benefits everybody,
Yeah.
doesn't it? I mean, like
Yes,
you don't have to
of course.
deal with these kids anymore,
Right.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
And like you can both see a Thunderbolts. And
Anything you guys want to shout out before we go?
We're all watching the Thunderbolts and we're going
Yeah.
to talk about it next week. It'll be like
Yeah.
a
Go see
full
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts review.
I want to shout out to somebody who commented on our last video, Lexi Eve 161. Shout out! You said you love us and you've watched every episode.
Aw.
So thank you.
Aw,
Thank
we love
you.
you so
too.
much.
We love you.
That's nice.
We hope you
That
love
is
us.
nice. We hope you love us. We do. Sal, you got anything?
Yeah, you know what? My wonderful wife Tiffany plays video games about 100% more than I do, and you should definitely check her out over on youtube.com/@comicpopplays or twitch.tv/comicpop. She's playing a lot of Marvel Rivals, and just last night she got MVP in 3 different rounds, and
Ooh.
that's a pretty big achievement
Nice.
for someone who doesn't normally play ranked matching, and
Ooh.
she really whooped ass as the Hulk. So check out those.
All right, gang. Thanks for
All
listening. Thanks for tuning in. YouTube, Spotify, talk.
All
Subscribe.
the things.
Patreon. You guys know this. You guys know the deal.
You know
Yeah.
what's up.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. No, seriously. Appreciate it.
We love you, and we hope you love us.
You guys want to talk about the NFL draft at all?
No.
The Giants had a decent draft, guys. Come on. Give me something.
So?
man. The Giants are fucking terrible. Give me something, please.
No.
I'll take whatever I can get.
No.